This is going to be a real hodgepodge of a video that we've shot even a week ago, added together. So the first little bit you're going to see is us trying to manage Mount Garbage, which is this huge pile of all the stuff that we have collected from all over our farm, really, that we ended up continuously just dumping in this one place. So here's that part. One of the least fun things about the farm since we've come out here, I have to say, is all of the trash that was left by previous owners. So anyways, today's project is trying to really make a final push to get through this and get it to the place where we can take the last bits to the landfill. Isaac built us this sifter so we can try and get the little bits of trash that are in here out. Things, fabric, cloth, wires, we can separate out. We pick up the stuff with the tractor and then dump it on here, filter through all the dirt and stuff that was in the previous owners that had all this weed block out in the garden. We pulled all that up. Of course, when we pulled it up, there were a lot of weeds and then of course dirt stuck in it. The thing I just don't understand is why folks just throw junk, trash out onto their property and junk it up. It seems like take a little bit of effort and get rid of it. Just get rid of it. But anyways, so that's what we're doing today. All right, so well, that was dealing with trash. It never ceases to make me laugh. This next bit, and Sam and I were putting in some plum trees out in our orchard. So we've got a bunch of peach trees that we've put in and some apple trees that we've put in. So we got 5 new plum trees, and this is the video of us putting those in. All right. 5 new plum trees to add to the orchard. Sun's already down, maybe out here digging under the headlights from the 4-wheeler or going and getting headlamps to dig, but got to this is the challenge in the fall when we start losing daylight hours to come home from work, try and get some things done out here on the farm, but I want to get these plants in the ground fast, so let's get to digging. This has to be some of the hardest dirt I have ever dug in my life. I've dug in some hard dirt. This isn't even, it's not clay, it's go down the topsoil a little bit here, and then there's a little bit of some clay, and then there's this, whatever this stuff is, but it is super hard, and there's a layer of it about yay deep that is unbelievable to get through. And once you get through it, there's red clay under that, but whoo! This is hard going. I had a teacher in high school that said, buy a $5 plant and put it in a $50 hole. Whew. Well, still got to get some amendments and compost and stuff to mix in here, but man, just on the labor alone, got a little bit of money invested in this plum tree. Whew. All right, move on to the last 2. At least we got the holes dug. Don't have them planted. Gonna have to get some compost and mix some of this soil together. Get them back in there and remeasure, make everything sure we got everything lined up. Nice hat. Nah, you can wear it. Looks good on you. Whew, I gotta say, well, two things. One, who needs a gym when you got a farm? Come out here and work, break a sweat. Thankfully, it's colder tonight. Temperatures drop, and we dropped 20 degrees today from this morning till end of tonight. So that's fantastic. And the other thing, we got several heroes, many heroes in this life, but one of whom never met, but Dick Prenicky. Never heard of him. Well, check out this video. But 51 years old, went to Alaska and built his own cabin. And if you pay attention to it, he did it, well, I've owned the documentary, but he did it in a matter of days, 21 days or something, built this whole cabin, which is crazy at 51 years old. I'm 47 and coming out here digging 5 holes at the end of the day put a beating on me. But we'll get back out here tomorrow night and hopefully finish up and get these planted. Then we got 3 figs to put in the ground over here, so hopefully get all of these in. But that's it for tonight, right? Thanks for keeping me company, buddy.
You're welcome.
Thanks for standing in for Isaac on the camera. I appreciate it. All right, ready to go inside?
Yes.
All right.
Like to go.
All right. We also travel back up to Lancaster. Our daughter is going to school up there. So here's a little bit of video of us just on the road heading up there. It is such a beautiful, the country up there really is beautiful in Lancaster, which is the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish country, but just rolling hills and farms everywhere in that area. It does, somebody I know that lived up there for a while said that the smell of Lancaster is cow manure, and it is pretty funny. In many places in Lancaster, wherever you are, it smells like cow manure. But in part because they have a lot of dairy farms, a lot of farms around. But we traveled to a couple of different places, got out a little bit more this time, into particularly some more of the Amish country, which is interesting because it is so intermixed. I think not being from that area, being from North Carolina and growing up in North Carolina most of my life, I had an impression of what Pennsylvania Dutch or Amish country would be like, and it's really interesting how interspersed the Amish very much are off-grid, right in the middle of suburbia or whatever else, businesses, thriving businesses and other things. So, you'll see a minivan, a horse and buggy with an Amish family, and then a tractor trailer right behind them going through town. It's such a strange, it's a little surreal, but their off-grid life is really remarkable. We stopped in a farm store. I'm going to try and see if I can find it and maybe put up a picture. I'll snag one off Google Maps and put in here. But we saw this farm store, which I obviously wanted to stop at and go check out, see what they had in the store, and went in, and certainly there were some horse and buggies tied up outside, but didn't really think much more of it. Just thought it was a farm store, a local family-owned farm store version of a Tractor Supply. And but went inside, and it was pretty cool to see in a very small space. There were no lights. It was an off-grid farm store. It looked just about like a more compact and densely stocked Tractor Supply, but no lights anywhere in it. And then what was really cool, and of course when we went in there, we were the only English in the place, it turns out. But what was really interesting is that off to the side, you go through those plastic drapes for a walk-in freezer or refrigerator, and I sort of checked it out and walked through, and there's a little grocery store in there that had meats and cheeses and milks and eggs, and but then also cereals and breads, produce, other things. It was a small little grocery store, but all of it was inside a big walk-in cooler. Just really cool thing. So anyways, and we also went to Central Market in downtown Lancaster. Second time we've been there, but here's a little bit inside of it. It's the oldest continuously operating farmers market in the country, and it is outstanding. The stuff that you can get there, from grass-fed meats and even lard, which we have gotten both times we've gotten there. Really, you can get everything in there, from produce and meats and cheese to breads. It really is a grocery store. inside of a market. And what's cool about Lancaster, as I understand it, is they have an ordinance that protects their farmers markets or their markets in the town. There are no grocery stores within some radius of Lancaster. You really have to get outside a fair distance to find a box store, grocery store. And so what you end up having inside of Lancaster is a lot of smaller places, kind of like in the garden, in the farm store, where there's a little grocery store attached to it. So that was just really, really cool. Well, that's the update of what's been going on out here, the things we're up to, and we got a long list of things to try and get to every night as these days get shorter. And really? Days get shorter, it gets colder. We'll eventually move back into reworking on the Quonset hut and picking up season 2 of this old Quonset hut. I think you make these videos and sometimes think, you know, it's not a big project, it's not but for the sake of what why we started this channel ever was just to document the things we're doing, the projects, the little adventures that we are about on this place. And people wanted to follow along and appreciate it. We appreciate everybody following us, and gosh, guess that's it from St. Isidore's farm this week. I hope everybody is well. Until the next video, take care and God bless. Well, this is what I'm talking about. I talk about there's trash all over this farm. Out here working by the mailbox, trying to do some cleanup, do some landscaping up around here. So trying to tear out an old stump of a pine tree that was here a long time ago with the tractor, and just buried out in the front yard right by this tree is a old Coke bottle. It's unbelievable. You can hardly do anything on this property without finding trash.